and welcome back to another episode of Jason's Game Room, the only podcast here on YouTube and possibly the entire internet that talks about everything gaming, from board games to dice games to CCGs to video games. If it has anything at all to do with the world of gaming and all of its genres, it's going to be on this show, and you're going to want to keep tuning in to see what I'm talking about next. Now, as of late, I've had a couple of ideas. One of them was a good idea. One of them was a not so good idea. First, I'm going to talk about the not so good idea, and that was to open a small business based on the internet right now in the past few weeks, during a time when no one really has any extra money to spend on anything. Unless, of course, you're part of that bitch-ass 1% that has millions of dollars but still don't buy anything. I don't understand that. But anyways, I started up a side business based through eBay. I turned my account into an eBay store, and I started selling CCG cards and collectibles and sports cards. Now, you might not think this is the biggest deal to do with gaming, but back in high school, and this is the mid-90s, when the CCG craze was huge, I actually started up a small business at that time called All About CCGs, and it was based in my high school at the time, and actually both high schools I went to, and I was trying to bring together friends and other people in my school, classmates, acquaintances that played CCGs, and make a few bucks not only off of trading but buying and selling cards at that time. Now, that didn't get very far because the internet was in its infancy, and I was mainly doing it peer-to-peer with people in the school. And plus, at the time I started it, a lot of CCGs were just starting up, and there weren't that many extra cards out there yet. So I kept the idea on hold. I ended up shutting it down before I finished high school, because it was more about just goodwill trading than trying to make money. So I saw that it was better just to have trading sessions rather than trying to make a few bucks off it at the time. So I shelved it, and I always kept it around as an idea. I always wanted to turn my eBay account into a store and try to get into something where I could buy and sell and make a few bucks. And that idea stayed on the shelf up until the last couple of weeks. As I mentioned, I turned my eBay account into a store, and I listed 22 items to start over the course of a couple days. And as good of an idea as this is, and in case anyone wants to look it up, it's called JJB Cards and Collectibles. You can find it on eBay and on Facebook. Look at that shameless cheap plug right there. It's not going as well as I thought, mainly because I've come to the conclusion I might have started at the wrong time, because in the middle of a pandemic, it's just nobody has any money and are willing to spend it, as I mentioned earlier. And even though the sport card collectible, and especially CCG secondary market, is a hot thing, it's cooled off, and I've realized that because there are so many cards out there at so many prices, and due to the frequency and the quantity affecting the rarity of the cards and the valuability, it's not viable at the moment. I'm going to keep my listings up there for a little while to see where it goes, but I don't have a good feeling about it. One of the main things I'm trying to sell are Star Trek CCG and X-Files CCG, uncommons, commons, rares. A lot of people don't need what I have, and I've done a lot of searching since I've put everything up on the internet, and there's too many out there. A lot of people already have a lot of it, and especially what kills me is with the sports cards that I'm doing. Mainly 88, 89, and 90 Donruss series. If you're a baseball card fan, and remember back when baseball cards were life when you were a kid, you'd think I'd get some bucks off it, especially off of players that have passed away, either through natural causes or tragically, because there are a high volume of these cards out there. A lot of the cards that should be worth in the hundreds are only worth $1 or $2, and it's a little disappointing, because I've sat on mint condition cards since I was a kid, like extras that I put in sleeves and binders, and they're still not worth anything because of what are out there. It's very perplexing because I'm not looking to get rich off it. I just want to make a few extra bucks here and there and maybe get people some cards they need to collect sets and maybe turn it into something else, make some new friends and grow my connections. But I digress. It's a good idea at the wrong time, so it may end up flopping. when the items come up for renewal, because I have them all as buy it now at very good prices, I might add, I might just cancel the whole thing and come up with something new. Anyone that knows me will relate to the fact that I'm always looking for an angle, always trying to find a side business or something that I can make a few bucks. And it seems from my perspective, and this is getting a little away from gaming, but a lot of my side ventures have never done really well off the side. I can't go into details because this is a gaming show. But I was hoping with the CCG aspect and the fact that CCGs have had a resurgence in the past decade, especially out of print CCGs, you'd think I'd be making some money and connecting with people. It hasn't gone that well. Anyways, that all being said, I want to talk about my good idea that's still in development. And I've mentioned this in a CCG group that I'm part of, also on Facebook, where I was playing with the idea for the past few months now of putting together a tournament that I would host, done outside in the summer or early fall, so I can negate all of these ridiculous restrictions that are going on, because let's face it, we've all had enough of this crap, and we want to go back to enjoying some of our hobbies and pastimes. And my idea was to have like a flash tournament, get enough people knowing about it so that we can all show up on a certain day at a predetermined location outside, set up a bunch of tables, have a tournament for a few hours and maybe a small trading session, and have a great time out in the open air playing the CCGs that we love to play. Well, that idea has morphed now after talking to a few people in the group, and there are some people who are still paranoid about the pandemic. Personally, I'm not, hence the outdoor aspect of it and trying to get something together to have fun again. I came up with a what if through conversation of this idea, and the what if is this. What if I discard the overall idea for a tournament and turn it into a flash trading session? Whereas people, and not just with the Star Trek CCG, I'm talking Magic, X-Files, Pokemon, whatever the hell it is that you play. We have a pop-up trading session where everybody shows up to that outdoor location. And I'm not talking about a lot of people, because it's hard for people to get together in a group thing even without a pandemic going on because of life. But say you have 20 or 30 interested people, you show up, you have your CCGs that you want to trade. You bring your list and what you have in terms of extras or what you're looking to trade. And everyone else goes through your list and offers you a trade. You get it done, and that's it. It's a big trading session. Now, you see a lot of trades going down at tournaments, but they're not set up to be a big trading session. You might see another player, hey, do you have this? I'll give you this. Or there'll be like a little sidebar at the tournament where you can get trades done, but you don't see a lot of it. I'm proposing a pure trade session now, a pop-up trade session where you come with your lists and everything and you get deals done on a couple tables we have set up. It has potential. If enough people can get behind it, I think it's something that maybe I can put together. The issue is where I would host it and for how long. Because with everything that's going on right now, it's difficult to put something together and not have it go off without a hitch. And also, the big issue is finding time to do it. Personally, I work 2 jobs, and I don't always have a free day where I can just hang out and put something like this together. So I'm still in talks. I'm trying to gauge interest. To you, the listeners of my show, if you like this idea, I please encourage you, by all means, to leave comments after this episode in the comments section, more so than other episodes. I want to know what everyone thinks about a giant trading session. Maybe not too giant, but if you are in Ontario listening to this show, especially Central Ontario, and you would love to be part of a trading session outdoor in the open areas where you don't have to worry about anything related to current events and don't have to worry about restrictions or wearing dumb things on your face, let me know. I'd love to get a trading session put together for the summer or early fall, as I mentioned, and get people together and maybe help each other out. Think of it as a giant swap meet for CCGs. You see this a lot in automotive, where you see swap meets set up at flea markets or in farmers' fields. People bring extras of what they have and swap it to other people. There might be a few dollars involved, but most of the cases there's not, because You want what they have and they have what you want. It's a big trading session, like what we used to do before money took over. Years and years ago. I wasn't around, obviously, but I think it has potential, and I'd like to gauge the interest that's out there. So let me know. That's all for today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as I've mentioned already, please comment on this. I need to gauge interest and see who's down with this. Even if there's a way to do it virtually, it's not my first choice. I want to do something in person, so maybe we can all meet new friends. But there might be a way to do it virtually. I haven't figured that out yet. And as I said, I'm trying to gauge interest. Have a great day, everybody. And of course, game on.